Board Games with Niramas. I'm Joseph, or Niramas as I call myself as well. I'm here today with Draco, of course. He's on the sideline here a little bit, but yeah, he's in the room. And I'm going to talk about KeyForge. This was really big surprise for me from 2018 in this game that I didn't expect to like at all, but I loved it. And so now it is time to do the top 10 cards for each house. There's 7 different houses in KeyForge. I'll do 7 of these videos once a week or so. They will come out with the different houses. We'll do them in alphabetical order. So we start with Brobnar today, and then I'll just continue. And to end it all then in like 2 months basically, I'm going to do the top 7 houses. I'm going to rank those 7 houses as well. And first of all, I do want to say about this list that this is my opinion. This is my favorite cards as of now, as of recording it right now. This might change, this might vary. I don't have all the cards, I haven't played all the cards obviously, but I have a bunch of decks. I think I played around 50 games of KeyForge live, and then some on the Crucible and the Tabletop Simulator as well. I think I played maybe around 50 different decks. So that's my background coming in here. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Anyhow, let's get into the top list. So let's start with number 10. So my number 10 card for Brobnar is Smith. And the Smith is an action card. You get a amber, which is also good as well. And then when you play it, you get 2 amber more if you control more creatures than your opponent. Now this might vary how good that is. If you're meeting a creature heavy deck and you don't have a creature heavy deck, this card might not be that good. But I find that most of the time I can, let's say I can use this. Let's say I can get rid of some creatures I can just put out, so I have 1 more, then I can play the Smith right away and get those 2 + 1, so 3 amber in total, which is really nice for just 1 action card. So that's why it's my number 10, and now let's head to the 9. So my number 9 card for Brobnar is Blood of Titans. This is an upgrade, gives you an amber, once again really nice, but it gives the creature that you put it on 5 power extra. And I think this is just so awesome because there's a lot of cards, like if you have a really good effect on a card, it usually don't have that much health or strength or power as it's actually called in the game. So let's say you have Restringuntus, or there's a bunch of these cards that have 1 or 2 power, and this upgrade can help them keep them alive, have them out a little longer. And also this could be something you use on a creature that you have skirmish on, then you can fight really good with that one without taking damage back. So many uses for Blood of Titans. I really like this upgrade, so that's why it's my number 9. And my number 8 is the creature called Troll. Well, Draco likes trolls, but anyhow, the Troll is really strong with 8 power, and when he reaps, he heals 3 damage from himself or from someone else. So that's really nice to have, really a lot of uses for that. And I mean, having 8 power, that's a good creature to have. If you have cards that, let's say, you can capture amber and put it on a creature of your choice, then you might want to put it on the Troll. It doesn't have any armor, but 8 health is good. It takes a while to get rid of him most of the time. Yeah, so I really like the Troll, and that's why he's my number 8. And my number 7 is another action card, Lavaborn. This one will do 4 damage to a creature and 2 splash. So you want to hit someone that has neighbors next to it, because then the main one you hit will take 4 damage. The ones on the side will take 2 damage from the splash. And this is a bit situational, of course. Sometimes you can't really fit that in very, very good, but I think 4 is just such a good number. And then the extra 2, yeah, I like this one because I like the direct damage card, because if you have like an elusive guy or something like that, well, this card can just go straight in and do the damage, and you don't need to worry about that elusiveness. It's also a good card for, I mean, let's say you can't do the whole effect, but maybe you can get rid of something that he's protecting with taunt. Then you can use a direct damage card to just go straight in and hit what you want to hit. So I really like Lavaborn, my number 7. So my number 6 is a creature called Ganga Chieftain. He is a giant, a strength 5, pretty good, pretty strong. He can handle himself, survive for a bit, and you can use him to fight and so on. When you play him, the thing is you can ready a fight with a neighboring creature, which means you can ready a fight with someone that is not a Brobnar creature. Like, there's a bunch of these cards as well where you can activate another house besides the active house, which I like that stuff. Yeah, and also, he is the guy from, like, if I do this, he's the guy on the player mat. So, of course, I want to have him in there. Really cool stuff. Ganga Chieftain, my number 6. Now, let's head to number 5. Okay, so number 5 is another action card, somewhat similar in a way to the one earlier here, where you did damage to one creature and then splash to the sides, but this one stuns the creature and each of its neighbors. And stun can be so good, it can be really, really useful. And this one, yeah, you can stun 3 creatures, which is one action card. I think that's awesome. Of course, there's other cards that can let you stun like a whole house and so on. But this one, you can just pinpoint wherever you want on that battle line, get that creature stunned, and two neighbors that you really want to mess up for your opponent. So yeah, Tremor is a nice card, and that's why it's my number 5. Okay, so time for number 4, Mighty Javelin. It's an artifact, it gives you an amber when you play it. And it has the Omni ability, which if you're not familiar with that, it means that you can use it regardless of which house you have chosen to play that round, which is always good. And this one is sacrifice Mighty Javelin and deal 4 damage to a creature. So basically you get rid of it. You can only, this is a one-time thing you can do. I just think this is so good. Once again, I mean, because it's Omni, right? So you can do it, you can have it out there, wait for the right time to use it, wait for the perfect spot to use it, and your opponent puts out something that is really nasty. Let's say, maybe you're playing Shadows, and your opponent play Logos, put out Mother. Well, you might have the Needle, and then you have this one that's 5 damage in total. You can just take her out right away. There's a lot of uses for this. Also, this, because it's Omni, is kind of interesting. If you're playing against, if your opponent has Control the Weak or Restriguntus and controls which house you have to choose to play, well, if it's Omni, you can play it anyway, regardless of the house, even if you don't get to choose any house, which can happen in these some situations. So yeah, I think Mighty Javelin is a good one, and that's why it's my number 4. So, my number 3, it's an artifact called Cannon. And this one it's really simple. You have an action to deal 2 damage to a creature, and you have it out as an artifact, and then basically just every time you do you play Brobnar, you just activate it to do 2 damage to a creature. Once again, this direct damage that I really like. You can get around the whole taunt and elusive stuff. And 2 is not that much, but maybe you can combine this in some ways with other cards, the one we talked about earlier, so you can do even more damage and so on. And there's a lot of these nasty little, good creatures that are out there that have good abilities, and they only have 1 or 2 health. This one can help you get rid of those if your opponent puts out something like Ember Imp, or yeah, there's a bunch of those. So anyhow, my number 3 is Cannon. Okay, and it's time for number 2, Burn the Stockpile. This is an action card. When you play it, if your opponent has 7 or more Amber, they lose 4. I think that's awesome. I mean, 4. There's a lot of, well, there's some ways to make your opponent like lose 1. But this one, he loses 4 if he has 7. And this is one of the reasons actually why I started thinking, like, if I'm playing against a Brobnar player, and especially if I know that this card is in that deck, I might stop at 6. It depends. If they have Shadows, then I don't want to stop at 6, because then you can just steal 1. Yeah, but there's some argument to be made there for both stopping at 6 if you can, and then if you can, you just get the 7th Amber on your turn and just hope that your opponent doesn't have this one out. Because losing 4 is just so nasty. I mean, there's some capture 3 or 4, but losing, you just lose it. So Burn the Stockpile, I think that's a really nasty one. And as I said earlier, I'm going not by some scientifically what cards are good to win or anything like that. I'm going by what I think is fun to play and what I had fun with. And I used this a few times and just totally messed up my opponent's plans. And that's why Burn the Stockpile is my number 2. And my number 1, well, has to be Khalifa Dragon. Draco loves it so much. I like it as well. 12 power. I think it's the strongest one in the whole game. Of course, it cannot be played unless you have 7 Amber or more, so it can be a bit tricky to get it out there. But if you do, it's just so awesome, because when it fights or reaps, you gain an amber and you deal 5 damage to a creature. You don't even need to fight with this guy most of the time. You can just reap with him. You get an extra, so you get 2 amber in total, and you do 5 damage to a creature. You can just take something out. Wow, Khalifa Dragon is just awesome. Might be the only downside to it is that I guess it's really a target for, like, if your opponent. I mean, this could trigger a board wipe. If your opponent has a board wipe card in hand, this might be the thing that just, you know, he's just gonna wipe it, because he can't let you have it out there. But of course, you can't really consider that. I mean, it's an awesome card. I love the artwork as well. He has this cool rocket thingies as wings. Yeah, so cool. He's even almost orange, right? Yeah, more red maybe. But the Khalifa Dragon is my favorite card in the Brobnar deck so far. It's been really hard to pick up these cards. I would probably change it around as I keep playing. Yeah, so hard. And I can bet a lot of money that you don't agree with me. Yeah, if you played KeyForge a while, you're not going to agree with me, because it doesn't matter which cards I would have taken. You would have, you know, most of people have their own preferences, and taste is so, you know, subjective. And as I said, this is mostly what I think is fun to play, what I have fun with, what served me well. It's hard to, yeah, there's no math involved. I haven't calculated this in any way. But this is how I do things. I think it's fun. I hope you enjoyed it as well, watching this. There's going to be a bunch of these coming, of course, as I said. I hope you keep watching them. And if you want to see more KeyForge, if you want to see KeyForge playthroughs, both with me and Draco, but also with me and friends that I did, and so on. And also I did some unboxings, where, or like a booster pack opening, basically, where I open a display and look for cool cards. If you want to see all that stuff, just go and click that link up there. To click the I to go to the playlist for all my KeyForge videos. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening or morning, or whenever you're watching. Take care. Bye bye.
Be like Draco. Follow Board Games with Niramas on Facebook at BGW Niramas. Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.